Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.
Our final top 30 under 30 entrepreneur is Isabella Hughes, and Isabella has co-founded a legal tech business aimed at simplifying the probate process. Isabella, we'll be discussing your business Simple Probate, but first, you've not just excelled in the legal world, as you've also competed in boxing on the international stage.
Good morning, Karl. Thanks for having me. Yeah, no, I have. It's a funny mix, legal world and boxing, but it's a great combination for me and it works most of the time. But I'm most recently back from the Eindhoven Box Cup. It's the Netherlands' biggest boxing tournament, and I came home with a bronze medal, so I was absolutely delighted. In the tournament, it was filled with Olympians because it was about 2 months before the Olympics, so it was a really great experience for me.
So talk to us about your legal background and why you decided to join forces with both Oisin Dolphin and John Noonan to establish Simple Probate.
Yeah, so basically I graduated from college from Maynooth, and I was working in a law firm, and I was working as a legal executive doing loads of probate, and I was frustrated with probate. There's so much admin in it for the legal practitioners and all their support staff, and then it was quite a really boring job, full of admin, gathering house details, PPSN numbers, bank account details, just everything you can imagine when it comes to probate. Coupled with that, I met Oisin at an NDRC founder weekend. Oisin recently lost his father, and he was the executor of his father's will. So he was extremely frustrated with the process, and he was asking me, is there anything that can be done about it? What can we do about it? And the two of us came together and we kept thinking of different ways that we could solve this problem for executors, but also for the legal field. That's also after that we met John Noonan, who was previously working for Clio, which is a massive legal tech company. They're the biggest legal tech company in the world. And he left Clio and he joined Simple Probate to help us with the product side of things.
Okay, and before we discuss the product, talk to us about probate. What is it and what is the role of the executor?
Yes, so probate is the process in which when someone passes away, how their assets that they owned are distributed to their loved ones and their family members. Sometimes this is done through a will, or if they die without a will, it's known as intestate. And an executor is essentially the person that's put in charge of distributing these assets. And it's a big job to undertake when you're an executor of a will.
So what's involved for an executor?
So basically you're going to have to gather every single detail that the deceased ones own. So all the house details, all the bank accounts. You're going to have to take a massive job in actually cleaning out the house if you want to put it up for sale, or if you want to move that into somebody else in the family's name, or if you want to live in it yourself. It's a huge legal process that you've got to go through with your solicitor. So it's a massive deal to do because it's so much work itself. We've heard from executors that it's actually like a part-time job in terms of admin. And on top of that, it's extremely confusing because you're undertaking this legal process and there's very little resources online for it.
So how does Simple Probate address these issues?
Yeah, so basically Simple Probate is a business-to-business platform. So we sell the probate platform to your solicitor, and you're going to use that alongside with your solicitor. But we provide executors with every single resource they're going to need. We tell them what to expect, but we don't just tell them in boring articles. We give them videos, we give them pictures, we give them every single little bit of information that they're going to need. We've spoken to a lot of executors, and a lot of executors have said that just in general, even though they finished the probate process, they didn't understand what actually happened. They knew that it was over, but they didn't know what that really meant. So we give them everything up front. We explain to them what the probate process is. We also give them some realistic timelines and expectations in terms of what to expect. How long does it take for the grant of probate to actually be approved once it's been submitted? How long do banks typically take to reply? What happens to assets? What happens to joint bank accounts? We give all these information to the executor up front so they really know what to expect and they understand what's going to happen next.
Legal firms across the country are already using case management systems within their practices. How open are they to adding another piece of software to their operation?
So far, solicitors have been really, really great. It's a massive issue down the country, especially for rural solicitors, to get support staff. So, solicitors are so highly trained and they're so great at advising on really complex legal cases and legal issues, whereas probate, the main brunt of probate is actually admin work. It's gathering estate details, it's filling out forms, it's drafting oaths that are fairly standard at times. So solicitors are delighted that we're there to take away all that admin work. We take all that admin work away, and then we generate every single piece of information that they're going to need for the probate office and also for revenue. So the fact that they can't get support staff, our platform really alleviates that stress for them.
So what's involved from both the lawyer and also from the executor in terms of using this app?
So it's really simple. It's free sign up and there's no training required. So it's super intuitive. Second that you log on, you can see what's going to happen from beginning to end. You don't need to do any training courses. You won't have any questions. It's really simple. So for the executor, they log on. First of all, they're going to upload their anti-money laundering documents. This is your passport and your proof of address. This is a requirement that's needed by the Law Society, but we give examples for this, and that straight away that removes any friction, any back and forth between you and your solicitor, because we've given examples that are clear. Next, we're going to show you videos on what to expect. We're also going to give the executor loads of templates. So, for example, little issues like returning car insurance discs, we're going to give them the template to return that. Notifying insurance companies that someone has died, we give you templates for that. We really just remove all the admin work for the executor while educating them as well on what's going to happen and what to expect and how long it's going to take. Solicitor, we remove all of the admin work for them. So, we're gathering every single bank account detail, every house address, every car detail, every insurance detail, every pension provider, and we're collating all that information, and we're going to generate all the documents that they need. So, for example, the oaths of executor, the notices of applications, all the revenue forms, that's all done for them. So it's essentially just probate in a box.
And with plans for e-probate to go live in 2025, how will you have to adapt the business to cater for that?
Yeah, so we've actually spoken to a firm who was on the pilot program for e-probate, and they loved our product. E-probate and our product work really well together because e-probate, it'll bring the probate office online essentially, but it doesn't really deal with that whole admin gathering and that educational resource for executors that's so badly needed. So that's how our platform is going to work with that. I think it's going to be a really positive thing for everyone.
And is there an opportunity here for you to integrate Simple Probate with existing case management software systems?
There is, yeah. We would love to integrate with absolutely every case management software system and every revenue system that's out there or government run, but we're at their mercy. So while we've spoken to a lot of them and they're really happy to integrate with us, it's something that, we're going to have to continue to work towards and really be an open platform. But yeah, we are looking to integrate with more. Clio is one of the world's biggest case management systems. John Noonan worked for them. They've open case management integration. So they'll be our first protocol, and then obviously we'll move on to every other one after that. But yeah, that's the aim ultimately.
And how have you been getting access to the legal eagles around the country to promote this particular software product?
Yeah, so it's been great. I've done a lot of direct outreach on LinkedIn, but to be honest, the best way to go about it is actually attending CPD training events or attending events that solicitors are at. So I was in Cavan there on the 13th of December at a full-day CPD training course, and I also spoke at the Longford CPD training event in the Longford Arms. So that's been really positive in, talking to solicitors, finding out their pain points, and also showing them that Simple Probate really can help them with their issues and improve their client experience.
And how supportive have the Law Society been?
They've been great. We've spoken to a few members of the Law Society, including Law Society probate lecturers, which has been instrumental to how we developed the product. They're teaching probate, so we've literally spoken to the people who have written the book on probate, which has been really beneficial and really positive for us.
And Isabella, what revenue model have you decided to use for Simple Probate?
Yeah, so we have two revenue models. There's a huge variation in solicitor firms across the country. Some solicitor firms might do 1 or 2 probate cases per year, and others might do up to 150. So we have two models to deal with that. The first model is case-by-case pricing, so that a solicitor's firm, they can use it on their 2 cases for the year, or they can use it on 3 or 4 cases per year. It's up to them. We charge €250 per case, and we give them their first case for €150. They can try it out. There's no contract, there's no terms. They don't have to sign up for a certain amount of time. It's totally case by case. And the second model is monthly pricing. So it's €500 for unlimited cases for the month.
And in terms of funding the business, how has it been funded to date, and what are your plans to seek external investment going forward?
So Enterprise Ireland have supported us. We have just completed their Phase 2 New Frontiers program in Tala. That was like an intensive 6-month course run by them, where they provided us with loads of mentors, lecturers, getting us ready to run the business. And they've also given us a stipend there. We'll also apply for a few more Enterprise Ireland grants so they can give you money. And we're also seeking angel investment as well. So we're currently raising a pre-seed round of €300,000, and that's hopefully going to get us to the UK this year as well.
Just on the topic of the UK, what are your plans to expand this business internationally?
Yeah, so with probate, Ireland and the UK have extremely similar probate services. Most common law countries have really similar probate practices. So, for example, Ireland, UK, New Zealand, Australia, the USA and Canada all share a common law. So that means that we all have very similar laws around probate. But basically the plan next year is to expand into the UK once the opportunity presents itself and it's the right time for us. So we want to get a really good market in Ireland and then move to the UK when we're ready. But 2025 will hopefully be our year.
I've often thought that the legal profession has to be ripe for disruption from a technological perspective. Do you see any other opportunities beyond the probate piece?
I think so. I think there's loads of opportunities around client portals and integrations like Simple Probate. I mean, maybe there'll be Simple Divorce. Hopefully there'll be Simple Conveyancing. But absolutely, I think there's loads of opportunities for growth.
Well, if you've just tuned in, that was Isabella Hughes from Simple Probate, and I wish Isabella every success with scaling the business.
Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick.